Wah, wah. A tiny, adorable cry echoed through the delivery room. You did wonderfully. It's a healthy baby girl, the midwife said. I felt tears rolling down my cheeks. It had been difficult labor. From the first contraction to delivery, it took nearly 3 days. I had cried out, "I can't take it anymore," countless times, but the midwife encouraged me, saying, "You're becoming a mother. This won't end until you push that baby out." Finally, I managed to give birth. My body was completely exhausted. I couldn't move anymore and lost consciousness. When I woke up, it was the evening of the next day. I must have used up all my energy. I had been sleeping for a long time. Looking to my side, I saw a tiny baby in a bassinet. At last, we could meet. I tried to sit up, but my body wouldn't cooperate. "Oh, you're awake?" my husband said. "Thank you. I think I've finally come." "Is that our baby? Let me hold her." My husband gently cradled the tiny baby in his hands and placed her next to me. She was smaller than I had imagined, wrinkled and red. "It looks like you'll need to stay in the hospital a bit longer. But the baby is scheduled to be discharged tomorrow," he told me. "Really? So I'll be left alone in the hospital?" I asked. "Don't worry. Considering your condition, we're planning to stay at my parents' house for a while. My mother is there, and she's eager to take care of the baby." "I see. I'll try to get discharged as soon as possible." "It's okay. You can trust my mother. Just focus on resting and getting better." I said, "Thank you." I felt completely at ease and trusted his mother, especially since she was a nurse. However, this decision would later cause a significant change in our situation. My name is Victoria. After a long and difficult fertility treatment, I finally became pregnant at 38. When we found out, my husband and I jumped for joy. At the 6-month checkup, we learned the baby was a girl, and after considering many names, we decided on Olivia. We chose this name hoping she would become a beautiful presence who would light up everyone's path. Due to the difficult delivery and my pre-existing heart condition, I was discharged from the hospital for days after Olivia. I can't wait to see Olivia. I hurried back to my in-laws' house. As soon as I rang the doorbell, my mother-in-law greeted me, holding Olivia. "Oh, welcome back. You must be tired," she said. "Mother, thank you so much. May I hold Olivia?" I asked. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize," she replied, handing the baby to me. Something felt off. Was she lighter? She seemed lighter than when I held her in the hospital. And her face looked different. Maybe babies change so quickly that she already looked different. "Well, come on in. It's almost time for her bottle," my mother-in-law said. I brought Olivia into the living room and tried to feed her the bottle my mother-in-law had prepared. Again, I felt something was wrong. Olivia wasn't drinking much milk. In the hospital, she had been gulping it down. Why the change? Mother, Olivia seems to be drinking differently than before, I mentioned. Oh, you're just imagining things. This little one is still clumsy at drinking milk. You need to take your time and feed her slowly. That's how babies are. They might gulp it down right after birth, but some stop drinking altogether after about a month. My mother-in-law had experience with childbirth and was a nurse. I figured she couldn't be wrong, so I tried to push away my vague anxieties and trust her. That night, Olivia's cries were weak, and she barely drank any milk. Something was definitely off. I decided to talk to my husband about it. Honey, I think something's wrong with Olivia. I think she might be sick. I want to take her to the doctor, I told him. He seemed flustered by my words. There's no need for that. You're just overthinking things. You're still tired. You're being overly worried. Mom said she's fine, so she's fine. Mom has experience with childbirth and raising kids. You can trust her. There's no need to go to the hospital. My husband raised his voice. I was shocked, having never seen him like this before. Why was he so against it? Even if there was nothing wrong, going to the hospital for a checkup would put my mind at ease. My mother-in-law came in, startled by my husband's loud voice. What's going on? Why are you shouting? You'll scare Olivia, she said. Victoria says Olivia seems off and wants to take her to the hospital. I told her she's worrying too much, my husband explained. Oh, Victoria. You're still tired. This child is Olivia. She's very healthy. Besides, some babies don't drink much milk, my mother-in-law added. Being told I was tired by both my husband and mother-in-law made me wonder if they were right. I looked at Olivia's face. Something still seemed different. I insisted, I'm taking her to the hospital. I quickly gathered the baby supplies and got in the car, heading to the hospital. My husband tried to stop me, saying, "Hey, wait." But I decided to trust my maternal instincts. I explained to the doctor how Olivia seemed different from when she was born. He performed a thorough examination, including palpation and visual inspection. There are some concerning points. Let's do some more detailed tests, he said, taking little Olivia away. I knew it. I was overwhelmed with anxiety. There had been no problems at the 1-month checkup, so why now? A few days later, I went back to the hospital to hear the test results. Olivia has a congenital heart condition. Without surgery, she won't live long. I recommend immediate surgery, the doctor said. My world went dark. My daughter was sick. Doctor, I don't think that's possible. There were no problems during my hospital stay after giving birth or at the 1-month checkup. Isn't this a mistake? I understand you want to believe it's a mistake, but this is the reality. I think it's best if you prepare yourself for the surgery, the doctor said, handing me the test results. As I looked at the paper, I noticed something strange. Doctor, I don't think these are Olivia's test results. Olivia's blood type should be O, But this says AB, I pointed out. The doctor looked at the paper again, confirming it said AB. My blood type is O, and my husband's is O. So Olivia can only be O, I explained. The doctor said, that is strange, and continued, but these are definitely Olivia's test results. Either your blood types are incorrect, or Olivia might have a rare blood type. We can confirm with a genetic test. It will be entirely at your expense. Would you like to proceed? It would be good to clarify before the surgery, as we'll need to do blood transfusions. I'll discuss it with my husband first, I replied. All right. Shall we admit Olivia to the hospital today? Yes, please. I returned home to get Olivia's change of clothes, feeling uneasy and confused. Something was off. Why was the blood type different? They had definitely tested it at birth. Could it be that this child wasn't mine? Is that even possible? When I got home, my husband was waiting anxiously. How did it go? He asked. Olivia has a congenital heart condition. She's been admitted to the hospital, I replied. Then I gathered my courage and asked, Honey, are you hiding something from me? About Olivia. My husband laughed, saying, What would I be hiding from you? I mustered up the courage to ask, Is that child really ours? My husband's movements froze for a moment. I didn't miss the flash of seriousness on his face. Then he started laughing again. What are you talking about? Have you been watching too many dramas? If she's not our child, whose child would she be? I guess you're right, but don't say such foolish things. I continued, but Olivia's blood type came back as AB in this recent test. You and I are both O. And when she was born, we were told Olivia's blood type was O, remember? My husband's mood gradually worsened. Then he burst out angrily, That's enough. Could Olivia have a rare blood type? Do you dislike Olivia that much? Seeing my husband's anger, I decided to go ahead with the genetic test. I returned to the hospital with Olivia's belongings. Olivia was sleeping peacefully. I stared at her face. Who is this child? If she's not mine, whose child is she? On the other hand, after spending several months together, I had grown attached to Olivia, and part of me was hoping, please be my child. I had already become this child's mother. The genetic test was over quickly, and the results came surprisingly fast. I had asked the doctor to let me hear the results alone. Somehow, I felt that if my husband or mother-in-law were there, they might interfere or try to hide something. The genetic test results show that this child is not your biological daughter, the doctor said. I felt the world go dark around me. I couldn't speak. Then the doctor continued, However, you're not completely unrelated. You're probably relatives, perhaps cousins. Relatives. I pictured the faces of my relatives one by one. Then my thoughts suddenly stopped. My sister-in-law. She had given birth around the same time as me. Could it be? But why would they need to do such a thing? It was the only explanation I could think of. My mind was in chaos. The doctor looked at me worriedly and asked, "Are you all right?" "Yes, I'm fine." "I'm sorry. There's something I need to check." "I'll be going home for a bit," I said. I asked the nurse to look after Olivia for a while and headed to my sister-in-law's house. The doorbell rang, and I heard a high-pitched "coming," along with a baby's loud cry. "Oh, Victoria, it's been a while. Are you feeling better?" "Please, come in," my sister-in-law said. "I'm sorry for coming suddenly." "There's something I need to confirm," I replied. Inside, a baby was crying loudly. "I'm sorry. It's feeding time," she said as she started feeding the baby. Unlike Olivia, this baby latched on strongly, gulping down the milk with satisfaction. "Have you gotten used to childcare?" "It's tough, isn't it? But when your daughter is healthy, it gives you energy too." "Is Olivia doing well?" she asked. I answered, "Olivia is in the hospital with a heart condition," and then said, "There's one thing I want to confirm. What's your daughter's blood type?" My sister-in-law, still holding the baby, turned her back to me as if she didn't want to meet my eyes. I think it was AB," she said hesitantly. "I see. Can I see your mother-child health handbook?" "Huh? Why?" "Victoria, what's going on? What do you want to know?" "I want to confirm if that child is really yours." My sister-in-law laughed nervously. "What are you talking about? Are you suggesting this child isn't mine?" "Don't be ridiculous. If that's the case, you should be able to show me the handbook, right?" Reluctantly, she showed me the handbook. There, along with the blood type AB, was a note about congenital heart disease. "So that's how it is." I felt anger bubbling up inside me. "That child is my daughter Olivia, isn't she? Why did you switch them?" My sister-in-law seemed to realize she couldn't escape anymore. "My mother told me to do it," she confessed. "What?" "Your mother. When I found out my baby had a congenital heart condition and I was feeling down, she brought this baby. She said to become this child's parent now, so I wouldn't have to struggle with caregiving in the future." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was like something out of a drama. Switching babies. Unthinkable. And all because their child was sick. My husband knows about this too, doesn't he? Yes. Mother and my brother proposed it together. I thought this healthy, cute baby was better than a weak one who barely drank milk. So while you were in the hospital, I decided to take this child. Do you realize what you're saying? Are you even a mother? Because I'm a mother, I thought it was better this way. It's easier to raise a healthy child. What's wrong with that? We're all related, and the babies were born around the same time. What? How can you say that's okay? I was furious. Children aren't objects. It's unforgivable for adults to abandon their own child or steal someone else's child for their own convenience. Your real daughter is fighting heart disease right now. Doesn't that hurt you? It has nothing to do with me anymore. I'm this child's parent now. No, that child is mine. She's Olivia. I'm taking her back. I tried to forcibly take my daughter back from my sister-in-law. She resisted and bit my arm. Ouch! What are you doing? Stop it. This child is mine now. I won't give her to anyone. I don't recognize a child born with a disease as my own. I was stunned by my sister-in-law's outrageous thinking. I decided to leave for now. Fighting over Olivia would only hurt her. Olivia was crying loudly, seemingly aware or unaware of this abnormal situation. I returned to the hospital. There, a baby was fighting for life, connected to many tubes. Seeing her, I cried. A baby unloved by her real mother. She's trying so hard to live. What a terrible mother. Children can't choose where they're born. Why did she choose this place? Hang in there, I said, holding her hand and encouraging her. I stroked her tiny head. I had become her mother. I couldn't bear the thought of giving her to my heartless sister-in-law. I went home and told my husband and mother-in-law everything that had happened. That the baby at my sister-in-law's house was my daughter Olivia. That my sister-in-law had switched the babies while I was in the hospital because her child was sick. My husband clicked his tongue. That idiot, she should have kept her mouth shut. What a stupid sister. Really, why did she have to talk? Victoria, don't make such a fuss over this, my mother-in-law said. This? Is having your child switched this? This parent and child are crazy. I felt fear beyond anger. Victoria, it's fine, isn't it? My sister's husband cheated and left her, so she's raising the child alone. She thought it would be better to have a child that doesn't need much care, my husband said. That's right. You have me and my son, don't you? We can somehow take care of a sick child. It can't be helped. The child was born, my mother-in-law added. I was shocked by the inhumane words coming from my husband and mother-in-law. Children aren't objects. Why should they suffer because of adult selfishness? It's for everyone's happiness. If we don't tell the children, they'll never know. You know the saying, the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world, my husband said. I never thought my husband was this kind of person. I had wanted his child so badly. I had worked so hard with fertility treatments, wanting to bear the child of the man I loved. To think he was this kind of person. This family doesn't deserve to raise children. With this thought, I went to consult a lawyer. Together with the lawyer, I discussed what would be best. We reached a conclusion. First, I would divorce my husband. I couldn't live with someone who lacked common sense and treated children like objects. I didn't have confidence in raising children with him anymore. Second, I would get my daughter back from my sister-in-law. She was undoubtedly my daughter, Olivia. I would never let her go. And one more thing. The baby is fighting in the hospital. Her surgery date was approaching. I visited the hospital every day and spent time with her. I was very worried about her and prayed for the success of her surgery every day. As if my prayers were answered, the surgery was a great success. I cried tears of joy. And then I made a decision. I will raise this child. With the lawyer's advice, I decided to adopt this child. For this, I needed my spouse's consent if I had one. So I proceeded with the divorce first. When presented with the divorce, my husband was surprised, asking, why? But considering what he had done, he must have thought he would lose in court no matter how he resisted. He signed the divorce papers more easily than I expected. My sister-in-law had grown attached to Olivia and cried out, "She's my child." But my lawyer skillfully used the law to counter her claims, and my real daughter returned to me. I named the daughter fighting illness Olivia. Together with her, I waited and prayed for her recovery. "Olivia, did you both remember your lunch boxes?" I called out. "We've got them." Olivia replied. "Olivia, you forgot your water bottle." "Oh, you're right. Mom, we're off. Have a good day. Be careful." 6 years have passed since then. Olivia's post-surgery progress has been excellent. She's grown up healthy, and although she's a bit small for her age, she's become very strong. Olivia worries about Olivia's health, carrying heavy bags for her and matching her walking pace. The two have become very close sisters. To everyone around us, they look like twins. Their faces even seem somewhat similar. Well, I suppose that's natural since they're related by blood. As for my ex-husband, I hear he's living with his sister and mother at their family home. Rumors say he remarried, but apparently, he insists he doesn't want any more children. I heard his new wife, who wanted children, served him divorce papers and left. I suppose Olivia was truly a beloved daughter to him. However, he made a terrible mistake as a human being. Because of that, he's no longer allowed to see his own child. He brought this on himself. I absolutely won't allow my ex-husband, his mother, or his sister to have any contact with my children. I made sure to discuss this point with my lawyer, and we exchanged a written agreement when we divorced. I'm busy with work and housework for the sake of my 2 daughters, but their smiles are my greatest source of strength. Now, I truly feel grateful that they accepted me. Both of them are my precious daughters. They're as dear to me as my own life. I look forward to the 3 of us, all women, continuing to live happily together.